Geisha, beauty, culture, and elegance. Geisha is a traditional Japanese female entertainer who acts as a hostess and whose skills include performing various arts such as classical music, dance, games, and conversation, mainly to entertain male customers. The history of geisha can be traced back to the early 18th century in Kyoto, Japan, where they were initially men who entertained at social gatherings with music, dance, and conversation. Over time, women began to take on the role and it evolved into the form it is known today. The height of geisha culture was during the Edo period, 1603 to 1868, where they were considered symbols of sophistication and elegance and were highly sought after by wealthy patrons. Geisha history can be traced back to the early 18th century in Kyoto, Japan. At that time, geisha were actually men who entertained at social gatherings with music, dance, and conversation. As time went on, women began to take on the role and the profession evolved into what it is today, with female geisha entertaining primarily male customers. Geisha culture reached its height during the Edo period, 1603 to 1868, in Japan. During this time, geisha were highly respected and considered symbols of sophistication and elegance. They were trained in various traditional arts such as classical music, dance, games, and conversation, and were sought after by wealthy patrons for their entertainment and companionship. Geisha also played an important role in preserving traditional Japanese culture, including music, dance, and other cultural practices. They were considered trendsetters and often set the fashion trends of the time. Geisha have long been shrouded in mystery and often misunderstood, both in Japan and around the world. Some of the most common mysteries or misconceptions about geisha include: geisha are prostitutes. This is a common misconception and is not accurate. Geisha are entertainers and hostesses who provide company and entertainment, but do not offer sexual services. Geisha are trained from a young age. While some geisha may begin their training at a young age, many become geisha later in life, after completing their education and receiving specialized training. Geisha wear heavy white makeup all the time. Geisha wear heavy white makeup and bright red lipstick only when performing or attending events. In their daily lives, they wear more natural-looking makeup. Geisha are isolated from society. While geisha have a unique lifestyle, they are not isolated from society and have their own networks and communities. Geisha are only found in Kyoto. While Kyoto is the city most associated with geisha culture, geisha can also be found in other cities in Japan, such as Tokyo. Despite these mysteries and misconceptions, geisha continue to be a fascinating and important part of traditional Japanese culture, and their skills and artistry are highly valued and respected. Geisha still exist today, primarily in the city of Kyoto, Japan. However, the number of geisha has declined in recent years due to a variety of factors, including changing social attitudes and the high cost of training and maintaining the traditional lifestyle. Despite this decline, geisha culture and traditions continue to be preserved and passed down from generation to generation. There are still young women who train to become geisha and carry on the tradition, although their numbers are much smaller than in the past. Geisha continue to play an important role in traditional Japanese culture and are highly respected for their skills and mastery of various arts, such as classical music, dance, games, and conversation. They are also sought after for their company and entertainment, and are considered symbols of sophistication and elegance. In recent years, there has been growing interest in geisha both in Japan and around the world, and efforts are being made to preserve this unique and important aspect of Japanese culture. There have been many famous and well-respected geisha throughout history, but some of the most well-known include Mineko Iwasaki. She was one of the most famous and successful geisha of the 20th century and was considered the epitome of traditional geisha beauty and artistry. 1. Chio Miyako. She was the oldest living geisha in Japan and was recognized as a living national treasure for her contributions to traditional Japanese culture. 2. Tsuyuki. She was the first foreign-born geisha in Japan and has written extensively about her experiences and the world of geisha. 3. Arthur Golden. He is the author of the novel Memoirs of a Geisha, which was a bestseller and was later adapted into a film. 4. Mama. She was a fictional geisha character in Arthur Golden's Memoirs of a Geisha, and was played by Michelle Yeoh in the film adaptation. These are just a few examples of the many famous and well-respected geisha who have contributed to the preservation and promotion of traditional Japanese culture and the art of geisha. If you liked the video, hit the subscribe button for